Alright, let me turn the radio down here. Alright, good morning. My name is Brett. I'm a jack of all trades. I'm kind of doing a new thing here. I'm taking apart computers and humidifiers for the copper, the wire. The canister has wire in it. It's got copper on the other side. So anyways, what I've done is I've already taken all the screws out of the outside cabinet. So this should lift right off, I hope. Nope, see a couple more. Different kind of screw though. Why in the hell would you do that? Grabbing bits here for my drill. Sorry about that. Alright, now it should come off. So take and lift that off, and here's our humidifier. Scrap that for scrap metal. Now this is kind of an experiment for me. I've never done one of these before. I myself have seen other people scrapping these. And what these are is like your AC units. These are all aluminum. I don't know what they call them, condensers or whatever. I always try to peel off little extras because when you get to the dump, they will. I saw that dangling. When you get to the dump, they will look at it and they will say, "Well, it's not pure because it's got this on there." So I always take these off. I throw them in the steel because that goes with the equipment that I've got. So let's see. I see a screw here. We're going to dismantle this other stuff first. Okay, so I'm not really worried about saving anything as far as, you know, we're going to reuse it other than this little motor here. I'm curious about this little motor. I want to see if it will actually work. We'll take a pair of snips here. So I find them. I'm going to snip out these two wires. I just want to see if they work, or if it works. Let's see. My better pair of wire strippers. There's a thick sheet on there. Alright, so we got a bit of wire there. And I can probably use, because it's not hooked up to the plug anymore, I could probably just use a battery from my drill just to test it out, see if it works. Have you guys seen on YouTube, I saw a guy start a battery by testing these here, or by touching these to the battery of the car with a pair of jumper cable, or a pair of jumper wires. They were just little alligator clips with wires like these. And all these are just like, I think they're probably about 10 gauge wire or 12 gauge wire. I think it's 12. But anyways, what he did is he put it on the positive and negative. And on here it'll show you positive and negative on your battery. And you take and you put it on there according to that. And you should be able to, well, it moved. So that means that motor's good. It's just not enough energy in here because I've been using the drill to tear this apart. So there's not enough energy in that battery, but we still got enough energy for the drill. I'll have to locate what I do with my other battery. It's here somewhere. I've got a bunch of junk on the table right now. I'm getting ready to clean all this up, and I've got bright wire, wire that I have actually taking the insulation off of and put in, or taking the insulation off so that I could use it as bright wire. So anyways, we're just going to keep going here. Unplug these. That's a cut. That's an unplug. This is an unplug. I don't know what's on the inside of any of these capacitors or anything like that, so I'm going to keep them and go through them later. go. So there's that. Also, the plug has already been cut off, so we're just going to cut the wires for that. This white wire here. See a couple wires going into this little solenoid here. I'm not sure if that's any good or not, so I'm going to cut the wire as far as possible, so in case I decide to save it, I can do so. So, there's that. I've got one little key left on this. And a washer. Take that off. And this whole canister here should pop off. Alright, there's that. Sorry about the hands coming at the camera all the time. I've got very limited space on my table right now because everything's. I'm getting ready to take all this to the store or to the junkyard. Okay, so that wire is all done. I'm going to use a pair of pliers, try to see if I can loosen these bolts because I don't have a deep little socket handy. We'll take that fan out. I might keep that fan because the simple fact is that I've seen on Amazon and stuff like that for fans like this that could be used in automotive for ventilation of like vans and stuff like that when you're building a camper van. I'm getting ready to build my van. I'm hoping this summer. Okay, so there's that. Not breaking it. And it's pretty clean. I'm really surprised about that. This is an older, very heavy, very, very heavy. I mean, this thing's got to weigh a good 40 pounds. The whole unit's got to weigh like 40 pounds. So anyways, there's the motor. It's got the fan on it, freeze turns. We put a battery to it. It moved just a hair. That's all I need to know. So that should be good. Okay, this canister here has a bunch of stuff in it, I heard. I watched a couple of videos on YouTube, and they say if you... Where's that? Where's it go? Cut it. If you cut that open, that there's a bunch of copper on the inside of these. So, later on, after this, I'll make another video maybe, and forget that copper line there. And I'll make another video out of that. Let's take and cut this off. Let's see, where's my knife? There's my knife. Okay, I can't get that in there, so I guess I'm just going to have to squeeze and bend it. There we go. Okay, so that's loose now. Should be. Alright, so we take that out. That is our canister, is what they call them. Put that to the side. We'll cut that open in a little while. Very heavy. I hope it's full of copper. Okay, so this here is going to be sheet metal. A little bit of wire here. Just try to bend it out with a screwdriver. You notice just about every scrapper that does this stuff, that tries to get that little last piece of wire out of there, usually uses a screwdriver because they don't have a nut handy, or a drill bit handy that's that size. Okay, there's a little bit of brass in these, I know that. I try to move things out of my way because I'm always knocking things over. This is like some kind of a float sensor because I had this ball on the other side of it. And it was hooked to this and it goes up and down with the water level. So we'll check that out for anything inside there. I always keep, look, there's a nail in here. Okay, so I always keep these little grommets, all that stuff. You never know when you're going to need something like that. I always need something. Okay, so we're going to turn this around, get all the tools out of the way. It's very late now. I can move my hand with no problem now. Okay, so let's see how this connects. Okay, so over here. I should take off the front one. I'm not worried about screws hitting the floor. The cats like to play with them. Can't get that one because it's too big. So let's see. We'll get that from the other side when we. I want to get this one along. This one's already gone. Okay, so technically, if I bend these little tabs in right here. They're in little slots here. What you gotta do is you gotta lift this back one up. You gotta lift this one up, and these little tabs will come out. Let's have it on this side. Okay, so that side came up. Why didn't this side come up? Ah. Okay, so that's loose now. So we've got a copper tube over here. I'm going to bend that off. And I checked to make sure that there was no freon in this before I started. Now this piece of metal right here, we're going to have to cut these off, just get this little piece of metal, because that's metal, that's not aluminum. So we're going to have to just separate that. Okay, so now we got all of our copper hoses and everything. Coming out sides on the other side. So we got to flip this around, and we got 2 screws here, 2 slots there. Lift it up, comes right off. Okay, so I don't think I have any of my bigger. Usually I've got all kinds of bits for this, but they're all getting buried right now. Okay, so we flip this back around. Should pop right up. Okay, so once again, we got copper all down the sides. They all go through the middle. This one's not too bad. It's a little dirty around the edge, but it's not too bad. But we're going to try to get these pieces of plate. I'll check them just to make sure, but I believe they're metal instead of aluminum. This is all sheet steel. This will all go as a sheet steel, loose sheet steel. We'll put that down here. Get all the little bolts and washers off of here. My girlfriend asked me why I take all the bolts and washers off. That's because I get tired of picking them up off the floor when the cats play with them. Okay, so we're all done with that. Fit right in there. Okay, now let's see. I wonder if I could just take in. I don't want no Sawzall. I wonder if I could just take and clip them with the clippers. Good enough that they'll. Yeah, we should be able to. Let's get the big nippers though. What do I do with them? Just had them. Here. Okay, so let's take a lock this down here. Lock that down in there so that I can pry on it. And all I'm doing is taking the copper hoses off the end so that I can take that plate off. Like I said, I've never done this before, so we're doing this together. Copper flying, incoming. Come on, you rotten so-and-so. Believe me, this is probably a lot easier than doing it with the, I could have done it with a Dremel, I guess. Straight copper, back in the pan. Let's turn this table. Better grip on it. Just squeeze them flat and turn them. It seems like they break better. A little brook straight never hurt nobody. Except for it to work out in the hand. Anyways, I'm going to continue this for a minute and we'll be right back.